station, WDWL TV in Cleveland. Broadcasting live from Studio 2. We proudly bring you the Two Grumpies, starring the grumpy old man. Oh, that would be me. And the grumpy vulture. Take your bow. Oh, okay, you've been practicing again. Good job. All right, yeah. Now, back in your corner. Oh, I'll let you see. Yeah, the camera will see you there. Turn, face. Okay. All right, before we go any farther, I have to make an adjustment here. Got to get something out of the way. Whoop, what am I doing? Okay, I'm gonna move this out of the way there. Well, friends, since, I've been really depressed over the theft of that tablet, today I received an email that kind of lifted my spirits. It was from my buddy's son out in Burbank. Oh, I wish he'd send me some Burbank weather. He informed me that in the mail, as we speak, are 2 more microphones. Wow! Yeah, like Grumpy needs 2 more. But he informed me that he just finished a month-long testing of both of these microphones. And they are both made for YouTubers and streamers or podcasters. Now, when he does a test, he starts with your average YouTuber, then your beginning podcaster. Then he goes to professional podcasters. From there, he goes to voiceover work. And then vocals, because he does have a vocal studio, because he records commercials and he does a whole shitload of work for Hollywood studios. Also, he does take these over to some NBC stages. And he keeps, basically they're in the background, like, Jimmy Kimmel's show, he's got it in the background, seeing how it picks up at a distance. He runs a multitude of tests. Another reason that basically he gets sent microphones from every manufacturer, because he puts them through their paces. He's not, you read the reviews online and it's, Joe Cockenballs doing a review on a mic on, a podcast. He does the whole gamut. And then he writes pages of reviews and sends it to the manufacturers. And he told me sometimes he's brutally honest. This has got to be done, that's got to be done. Because a lot of time these microphones are prototypes. And then the company makes what needed adjustments they feel they need to make. Now the prototypes have to get returned. But the microphones that they feel are production ready are the ones that he gets to keep. Well, he told me these 2 microphones that he is sending me are mainly for podcasters and YouTube streamers. They were built for mainly home use, or, if somebody builds himself a little studio. But they do have professional broadcast qualities built into them. Pardon me. Had a horse in my throat, or a frog, or a vulture, or something. So, this sort of lifts my spirits, because he knows I'm a microphone freak, but it still doesn't make up for the theft of that laptop. Now, it is under investigation. From what I'm informed of so far, if it was taken at the ship store, whoever took it did a hell of a job, because so far they don't see any of the employees in the back room on camera pulling a fast one. But like he says, that doesn't necessarily mean that an employee throwing trash out didn't have this box with this laptop with the trash. When he was outside, he made the switch. So, and we don't know right now if there's an exterior camera that is working. The manager of the ship store said they've been having problems with it, and so far what they're seeing is fuzzy. But UPS, being the worldwide corporation that they are, they have sent this video of the outside camera out for super enhancing. Whoa, super enhancing. The only thing is, that doesn't recover the laptop right now. And like the police officer told my buddy, they may catch the person, but who knows where the laptop went. He might not be, so talkative, even with the threat of termination, which he knows is coming. If he stole it, he knows if he gets caught, he's done. So he may figure, hey, I'm getting fucking fired. I'm not going to tell you where the laptop is. But like the police officer also said, when we catch this guy, if he doesn't divulge it, whoever's in possession of it right now has received stolen property. So I don't think I'd like to get arrested with a stolen laptop. So that's where we're at right now, unfortunately. But hopefully the microphones will be here before Christmas. Because as soon as they get here, you're going to see them. I was pulling my extra microphone mounts today, trying to figure out which one will accommodate these the best. So you'll be seeing them. And one of them, it lights up. Red, green, blue, and so on. And he said, it lights up. It's not like that crappy one that I've got, the colors are all mottled and muted. He says, believe me, when this thing turns red or blue or green, you'll know it. Oh boy! That means basically I'm going to have to hang it. Put it on a mount up here so that it can be seen changing colors. Although I could mount it like this, but I kind of like them when they're like professional studio mics, when they're hanging up here. Because that's the way they are in like radio stations. They don't have desk mics. Everything is up here. And a lot of the disc jockeys stand all day. Well, they're only there for 4 hours. Now, they do have chairs. But I remember the day that I was at WMJI in Cleveland visiting John Lanigan before he retired. And for the whole 4 hours that I was there, he was standing. He liked to move around while he talked, you know. So, major problem is I don't have the facilities to do a standing broadcast. I'd have to have the camera mounted almost at ceiling level, so you won't see me standing. But I will have the microphone mounted on an arm like this, but up here with the mic tilted towards me. Because I was told that these mics are made mainly to be mounted on an upper arm rather than on a... Now, he told me I could mount them any way I want, but he said for the best performance to mount them like a studio would have them. So I can't wait till they get here. And one, he told me, is really more professional than the other one. He said this company put like a $2,000 microphone in a $125 package. He said that's the quality of the one. He said the other one is also good quality, but he said the one, he referred to it as the tank. The tank. Yeah. He said, you're going to love the tank. But the tank don't change colors. Can't have everything. So, hopefully, we'll be seeing some new microphones soon. And he said the one is a dual. It will accept either USB or XLR, so I could use it in either studio. Now, that is a hell of a mic because it has a 48-volt unit built inside of it. And he said it activates as soon as you plug the XLR plug in. It turns on like this. I have that. I got to show you that. When the new mics come in, I'll show you the gizmo that's on the back of this. Because this is also an XLR old school style microphone. But I've got this little converter on the back. So I can't wait to show it to you. There's nothing to it. It's this little round cylinder about that long that converts the XLR into a USB microphone and also puts 48 volts into this mic so it'll operate. Amazing. Wait till you see this little gizmo. like I say, I had my doubts. I looked at it and went, there ain't no way this little piece of crap is going to do what it's. Oh, it impresses the hell out of me, believe me. That little. I know I keep teasing you, that little cylindrical. Wait till you see it. It's amazing. It plugs in the back of the microphone, and then from the back of the microphone, it goes into the computer, into a USB port. And then, of course, I plug my headphones into it. But unbelievable. And every broadcast, it's never failed me. No volume problems, no reverb or echo. Unbelievable. Let me have a little Java. Oh, by the way, this mug is courtesy of Crime Talk. Yes, when you're on YouTube, put in Crime Talk. It's a daily Crime Talk. And you crime talkers love Crime Talk. Yes, he does daily updates on recent court cases, stuff that's happening right now. And he's good. He's an attorney. So go on YouTube, look up Crime Talk, give him a subscribe, because he was nice enough to send me this free mug. Yes. With a fingerprint head. A fingerprint head. But yes. I told him how much I enjoyed his daily crime briefings on court cases. I liked his attorney's point of view on things. And I also told him I like them coffee mugs that you have on the shelf behind you. And he sent me one. Yeah, Crime Talk. Go on YouTube, look up Crime Talk, and give him a subscribe for sending Grumpy this free $20 mug. You think I'd pay $20? I go to Dollar Tree, $1.25. Although the other day I got some at Mark's. 2 for $99. Yeah. They were them glass ones I had the other day. I'll have coffee in another one during the week. Crime Talk. And not cheap mugs either. Yeah, when I saw $19.99 for a mug, Jesus. It's almost as bad as going on some of these and looking at their merchandise. $80, $90 for a hoodie. And I know they get some of the profit, but $80 for a hoodie? Not in my nook of the woods. No. Plus, don't people like zip-up hoodies? I hate pullover hoodies. I despise them. And every one of these merchandise sites are always pullovers. It's finding a zip-up hoodie on any of these merchandise sites. It's like finding a new car with a manual transmission. There must be very few of us that like zip-up hoodies. I don't like pull-over anything. I don't care what the quality of the hoodie is. I don't like pullovers. Like my buddy, he told me, he says, well, why don't you order one of them bearskin hoodies? I said, is it a zip-up? He goes, oh, it's not only zip-up, it's got about 9 million zip pockets to it. I was like, oh, I like things with a lot of pockets. Then I looked at the price. And after EMS gave me CPR to bring me back to consciousness, I was like, oh, no, it'll be the day I pay $125 for a hoodie. I realized, inflation has driven prices up. But how do they expect somebody on Social Security to pay that kind of money for shit? That's like shoes. My buddy was telling me last weekend he took his grandson to buy shoes. He wanted this certain pair of Nikes for Christmas. So here's good old grandpa going, oh, okay, come on. Like my grandpa, come on, I'll take you to the shoe store. So they went out to Dick's Sporting Goods. And his grandson went over to the shoe department, located the shoes, and then called Grandpa over and he said, I found them. So he's got them on. He's trying them on. He's walking around with them. So my buddy's like, how do they feel? Great. How's the fit? Great. You think you're going to be comfortable wearing them all day? Oh, yes. He said, okay, put them in the box. They get to the cash register. Now we're talking athletic shoes, not Italian leather loafers. $137.95 for a pair of shoes. And not dress shoes. Athletic, although nobody wears dress shoes anymore. Everybody athletic shoes. Where do they justify that kind of cost? First of all, they're not even made in America. I think he said they're made in Thailand or Malaysia. If they're made in Thailand or Malaysia, then people are making like 70 cents a fucking hour. How do they justify that kind of price? Because some sports figure endorsed them? Yeah. They're throwing millions of dollars at these sports figures for endorsements. And who ends up paying it? The consumer. I told my buddy, don't offer to buy fucking shoes anymore. You get off cheaper buying clothing. I said, as a matter of fact, my grandparents, every Christmas, underwear. I knew what I was getting every Christmas. Underwear. Now, I admit, I needed it. But you think Grandma would have varied maybe one Christmas and bought me a nice shirt? Maybe a pair of slacks? No. Underwear. I didn't even have to unwrap it. I knew what was in the package. Because as far back as I could remember, Grandma bought me underwear for Christmas. I didn't sit around the Christmas tree and go, oh, look what I got. No, I opened it up. I looked at it. And I said, thank you. Then I went up and gave Grandma a big hug. And then Grandpa would pull me aside and said, I'll make up for it after Christmas. Don't worry. But yep, every Christmas, Grandma would buy me underwear. And not the fancy stuff you get today. White BVDs, briefs. Yeah. Of course, I got the matching t-shirts too. But yeah, every Christmas. I knew before they even showed up at the house what was going to be wrapped in them packages. Because I got it every single year. Up until I graduated high school. And then after that, the one year I said, gee, could you maybe consider like boxer briefs? My grandmother was like, what are those? I said, well, they're a little different form of underwear. They look something like boxer shorts. And then she stopped me right there. No, boxer shorts are for old men. I said they're called boxer briefs. Anything with boxers in it is for old men. You ain't getting old men underwear. Okay. So, I got the nice, crisp, white cotton BBD briefs with matching t-shirts. Yeah. I couldn't even try. She wouldn't even listen to me explain what boxer briefs were. As soon as she heard boxer, those are for old men. Young kids like you don't wear old men underwear. Old men wear old men underwear. At that point, I knew what my grandfather was wearing. Oh. Yeah. I even cut a picture out. But see, they looked like boxers. Nope. You ain't getting them. I actually really was going to go out and buy some and then show her. Look, they're not old men underwear. It still said boxer. That's where she stopped. The brain shut off. The brain never heard briefs. Boxer. Nope. That's old men underwear. I ain't buying my grandson old men underwear. So, I just dropped the subject and knew what I was getting next year for Christmas. But at least I got the matching white cotton t-shirts. Yeah. Thank God she didn't buy me the old men athletic t-shirts. anything that looked like it belonged to an old man. No. I remember the one day I was wearing an athletic t-shirt. Also, what they refer to now as a wife beater. Don't know where that term came up with. And I was working out in the yard. I got a little hot. I took off my shirt. Oh, Grandma threw a shit fit. What are you doing wearing your father's underwear? I said, I'm not wearing boxers. You're wearing the... I tried to explain to her it was mine. Oh, no. You stole that out of your father's underwear drawer. Quit wearing old man's underwear. At that point, I went in, I took it off, I put on a white cotton t-shirt. That made her happy. Once Grandma had something set in her mind, it was like a steel trap. You weren't convincing her of anything. Grandpa was a little more easygoing. I could explain to him. Even he couldn't explain to her. Mainly because she carried the checkbook. Grandpa never pissed Grandma off, except on Saturdays. That was the only time we could piss Grandma off, and she didn't threaten Grandpa with the checkbook. Because she knew he was making his grandson happy. But I can imagine what the conversation was on Sunday after they dropped me off at home. Or when they walked back in the house and she smelled the lingering aroma of Limburger cheese. Oh, yeah, we would hear about it. She'd be bitching at us going, it took me all week to get that stink out of the house, and you're stinking it up again. And you heathens are using butcher paper. No plates, no silverware, eating with your hands like natives. That was us, me and Grandpa, the heathen natives. Why dirty up silverware? Fingers work real well. I mean, it was only pepperoni and smoked fish. The Limburger and the onion was on bread. I don't know what she was complaining about. There wasn't much cleanup after dinner. Just fold up the butcher paper and throw it away. Tablecloth clean. Except for the one time. Oh, God. A little bit of Limburger fell off the bread onto the tablecloth. And she always insisted on putting a white tablecloth down. And I didn't see it. And it kind of got rubbed into the tablecloth. So we folded up the butcher paper, threw it away. We told Grandma we cleaned up. She walked in that kitchen and spotted that little tiny speck of cheese rubbed into her white tablecloth. Oh my God, Grandpa and I had to make an exit from the house. Jesus Christ, you'd have thought we set that tablecloth on fire. Oh, she bitched about that. Look at, you destroyed my clean tablecloth, you heathens. It was a little speck of Limburger that just happened to get ground into the tablecloth. We destroyed her tablecloth. But, amazingly, next Saturday, Same white tablecloth, no Limburger stain. I guess she was able to undestroy it. Yeah. So we made sure we had the Limburger safely on the butcher paper, because we took the butcher paper and we spread it out so that it went over the edge of the table. That way, if anything fell while we were eating, it hit the paper and then fell in our lap, not on her tablecloth. You would think, knowing we do this every Saturday, she'd put some old ragged tablecloth on the table. No. It had to be a white one. The same white one she used for holidays. And then I find out from Grandpa, Sunday evening, she'd fold that tablecloth up and put an old one on. I think she just had this idea in her head that one day we weren't going to have our heathen feast because there was a white tablecloth. No. Saturday was heathen feast day. And then Sunday, was coffee day. Yes. I got to drink coffee with Grandpa, starting from age 6. Oh, had she found out, the shit would have hit the fan. Me drinking coffee at age 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah. Oh, yeah. She would have beat both of us. And then she'd have told my parents, he's drinking coffee. And then the shit would have hit the fan. Again. Of course, that would have explained to my mother why I was wound up Sunday night and didn't want to go to bed. Yeah, it'd be 11 o'clock. She'd be like, aren't you asleep yet, for God's sake? No. Why are you still awake? I don't know. Did Grandpa give you something he wasn't supposed to? Grandpa give me something I'm not supposed to have? Oh, you know better than that. God, did she found out. This shit would have hit the fan, man. I wouldn't have been able to go with Grandpa no more on the weekends. That's why I never divulged the secret. She never knew. Never. I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of kicking my ass once more. No. No matter how old I was. Because I think she got enjoyment out of kicking my ass. I know my father did. It happened enough. Sometime I didn't even need an excuse to get an ass kicking. Especially if he was really cranked. If he had like one too many Boilermakers at the bar. Look out. He'd walk in the house and say, hey, come here, I'm kicking your ass. Why? I didn't do anything. Well, for general purposes. And he would. And people wonder why Grumpy wanders around like a Mongolian clusterfuck. If you'd have been at my house growing up, you'd have known. Too bad they didn't have video cameras back in the day. Boy, I'd have had them hidden all over the house. Talk about evidence for CPS, which didn't really exist back in my day. There was no Child Protective Services. It was more like child get his ass kicked services. Back in the day when if you did something wrong at your neighbor's house, your neighbor kicked your ass and then brought you home so your parents could kick your ass. And then they thanked your neighbor. Thanks for kicking his ass for us. We'll finish the job when you leave. See ya. Yep. Then I'd get the second ass kicking. Yeah. Back in the 50s growing up, your parents thanked your neighbor for kicking your kid's ass. They even told the neighbor, hey, my kids get out of line, kick their ass. Okay. And then they'd kick my ass and bring me home, and sometimes I got my ass kicked twice. Once by my mother and once by my father. Had 3 ass kickings in one day, baby. But that's the way it was back in the 50s. If you don't believe it, talk to anybody that grew up in the late 40s, early 50s, even in the 40s. It was approved. Like Good Housekeeping seal. Neighbor can kick kid's ass. Good Housekeeping seal of approval. Recommended by 9 out of 10 doctors. They were all emergency room doctors. Yeah, sometimes we were giving them work, you know. Yeah, kids today, they don't believe this shit. Oh, Grumpy, you're telling a bunch of, as they put it, war stories. No, I'm telling these kids like it was and what kind of fucking spoiled brats they are today. If we wanted something, we had to earn it. Not drag your parents to the mall for a new Xbox. Of course, we didn't have Xboxes. We had boxes, and we draw an X on it. That was our Xbox. Yeah, they think they have it so rough today. Kids have 12, 15 pair of shoes. We had 2. We had our school shoes, and then we had our gym shoes, only to be worn for gym. God forbid. And the shoes we played in were our old gym shoes. When they got too messed up, and the school would say, oh, those aren't too good. You need new ones. Then those are what we played in. Or old dress shoes. No, we didn't have 47 different pairs of shoes like kids today. No. And God forbid you would ruin your school shoes, because you would have to wear them that way. So, you kids think you have it so tough today. Oh, Oh, I can't get a new pair of Air Jordans. Try growing up the way we did. And you had school clothes and play clothes. And no matter how important you thought it was to go out after school with your friends, you better change your goddamn clothes before you went out and hang them up. Because you'd have to wear them to school tomorrow. Oh yeah, maybe we had 2 pair of slacks and 3 shirts. That was it. Not a whole closet full of unappreciated shit like you kids today. You wear it once, oh, they made fun of me at school. I ain't wearing that again. If someone made fun of what you wore to school, tough. You wore it again, and again, and again. Yeah, I think I had 2 pair of dress slacks for school and 3 shirts. And God forbid you'd fuck something up. Oh. And most of our clothing came from Goodwill or the Salvation Army. Very rarely did you get something brand new. Or kids that came from families with multiple children, they wore hand-me-downs. Yeah, we didn't have that luxury of our parents shelling out $200, $300, $400 for a wardrobe. No. And you were lucky if you went to Salvation Army and your mother found 2 almost new shirts for you. Then you had 5. Oh, you were dancing in style there. Yeah, we didn't get brand new clothes from Sears or JCPenney or Kohl's or Macy's. No. Goodwill, Salvation Army, or maybe a church rummage sale, or maybe a backyard sale. And we got hand-me-down clothes. Used clothes, not new. So, you kids don't have it so goddamn rough today. The only time I had brand new slacks and shirt was for my first communion. Yeah. And then I could only wear them to church on Sunday. Yeah, you know, back in the old days, your Sunday go-to-meeting clothes. Yeah. After my first communion, that shirt and pair of pants only got worn on Sunday. Couldn't wear them to school. Oh, no. You had your Goodwill Salvation Army clothes for school. Not a brand new wardrobe from Macy's. I hate hearing these goddamn kids cry about how tough they have it today. Mommy and daddy buying clothes, buying shoes, buying cell phones, Xboxes, PlayStations. Our PlayStation was the backyard or the street. Yeah, we played games like Kick the Can, and that's just what it was. You kicked a can. like a football or like soccer. You kicked a can. Let's play kick the can. Does anybody have a can? I do. Okay. God forbid your parents weren't recycling. You couldn't have a can to kick. So I don't want to hear these kids today whine and cry about how tough they have it. I told my buddy he was fucking nuts for paying that for a pair of shoes. He said, well, it's my grandson. And then it made me think of Grandpa. But see, the majority of the shit we got was free. Every time we walked in the market, hey, here. Grandpa said, you're a good boy. Here, have a handful of Smokies. It wasn't like he paid for everything because the vendors wouldn't let him. These kids today, $125, $35 pair of goddamn shoes. Just because some sports star is wearing them. Bullshit. We used to have Payless shoes. Discount. We didn't get, Christ, back in my day, that kind of price for shoes would have been unheard of. Yeah, I know, things were cheaper, but wages were less too. I told my buddy, I said, your grandson wants a new pair of shoes. Tell him to get a job. He's on Social Security like me. I know he couldn't afford it. But he thinks of his grandson like Grandpa thought of me. You know, a kid can do no wrong. Well, maybe he can't do no wrong, but he doesn't need a goddamn $130 pair of fucking shoes. And then these kids don't appreciate shit today anyway. We had to come home after school and clean our goddamn shoes. Make sure our school shoes were ready for the next day. Not these kids today. Ugh. They don't give a shit. Because they know mommy and daddy will pull out the old credit card. Keep their little darling happy. I just stop and think, one day, these little brats are going to have brats of their own. And I wonder if they're going to spoil the fuck out of them like they're spoiled. I doubt it, because that $135 pair of Air Jordans or whatever they were are going to be $300 a pair or more. Are they going to part with that kind of money? I doubt it. Someday this shit's got to end. It's getting worse and worse and worse every year. I just, And then, you know, it all brings it back to that laptop. This asshole stealing this thing. No, it's not your everyday laptop. It's a heavy-duty police laptop. It's in a heavy constructed aluminum case. It's not like a MacBook Air. it's going to be easy to spot because you only see these in fucking police cars. You don't see some kid on the street carrying a Panasonic Tough Book. But oh no, he had to steal it. Make a quick 50, 75, $100. I hope his ass gets caught. I really do. He ruined a nice Christmas present for the grumpy old man. Now again, I get an email. My buddy's son wants to send me another one. I said, hey, you're not in business to give your shit away. Now I know, he feels bad. I told him, don't go out of your way again. And I said, if you insist, don't ship it UPS. God, would have been more trustworthy to go through the goddamn post office. But here, he's thinking UPS, worldwide corporation. Oh, never a problem. Of course, this was the first item he knows of that was stolen. UPS just lost a good customer. But nowadays, these big corporations, they don't care. You're one person. You're not some corporation shipping thousands of dollars of shit a week. See, back in the day when I was growing up, you didn't want to lose a customer. Because back in the day, word of mouth either made you or broke you. And if you pissed off a customer, he told this person, and then that person told this one, and this one, and this one. And sooner or later, the whole neighborhood knew that you were a lousy businessman. And you couldn't afford to lose customers. Today, they don't care. You tell a store, hey, I'm not shopping here again. They don't give a fuck. Yeah, go on, get out of here. But then when the store closes, they're like, oh, well, gee, I don't understand why we're closing up, corporate office. Well, you didn't do enough business. You didn't appreciate your customers. Customer appreciation is non-existent today. They just want the almighty dollar. They don't care if you don't shop there ever again. They won't miss you. You're a dollar sign. That's all you are. Back in the day, you were appreciated. You were thanked for your business. And if you happen to piss a customer off, oh my God, you kissed his ass every which way. You invited him to come to goddamn public square and gave him a week to draw a crowd, and then you kissed his ass in front of everybody. Not today. They don't care. But see, back in my day, we had mom and pop businesses. Little small family operations that depended on their customers. Not like these big box stores. Hey, if I don't go to the homeless depot, they don't miss me. If I don't go to Gigantic Eaglet, they don't miss me. Maybe a cashier that I kibitz with would miss me, but the corporation, they don't even know who the fuck I am. That's the difference. I grew up in that generation. I can't stand this generation. Jesus Christ. It's sickening. And with that, I think I will brighten my day with my outro music. Come on, outro music. Come on. Where are you? Here you are. And friends, like I say every night, you and I will meet again tomorrow night. And from me and the bird, we wish you a good evening, and we will chat with you